Okay, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about a super powerful science-backed study hack, one that you're probably not using, especially when it counts the most. So, picture this. You've got a really tough topic you need to master. You have your notes, your textbook, everything's laid out. What's your go-to move? Do you just reread everything, hoping it'll sink in? Or do you actually try to quiz yourself, forcing your brain to pull out the information? It might seem like a small thing, but the science is showing us that your choice in that moment, well, it's absolutely critical for whether or not you'll remember that info long term. Let's break down why. So, this really sets up what we can call the study standoff. It's basically a battle between two completely different ways of learning. On one side, you've got restudying. This is the comfortable path, right? Highlighting, rereading. It feels good. It feels productive because it's familiar and doesn't take much effort. But on the other side, you have retrieval practice. This is where you're actively trying to pull information out of your memory. It's tough. It feels slow. And yeah, you're probably going to get some stuff wrong. And here's the crazy part. Decades of research have shown without a doubt that retrieval practice, that difficult path, is way, way better for building strong, long-term memories. And yet, the moment a subject gets hard, what do? We almost always ditch it and run back to the comfort of just restudying. So why? Why do we have this bad habit? Well, the science actually gives us a fascinating look under the hood to see what's going on. And look, this isn't just some vague idea. A brand new study just out in 2024 in the Educational Psychology Review decided to put this to the test and see what students actually do. And the results were, wow, just crystal clear. When the stuff they were studying was easy, students almost always chose the better strategy, retrieval practice. But look what happens when the material gets difficult. Their use to retrieval practice just tanks. They fall back to that safer, easier option of just rereading. This is the big question, right? It seems completely backward. Why on earth would you put down your best tool right when the job gets tough? It just doesn't make sense. Well, the answer lies in this really interesting trick our brain plays on us, something we can call the effort illusion. Okay, so the official term for this is the misinterpreted effort hypothesis. And the idea is pretty simple. When learning feels really hard, our brain messes up. It reads that mental strain not as a sign that we're building new connections, but as a sign that we're failing. We think, oh man, this is so hard, it must not be working. When actually, that feeling of effort is the exact sign that real learning is happening. So this sets off a chain reaction in your head. First, you hit a tough topic. Immediately, that feeling of mental effort shoots way up. Then, because you mistake that effort for failure, your confidence, what researchers call your judgment of learning, it just plummets. And what do you do to feel better? You switch to the safer option, restudying. And the researchers from the study said it perfectly. They found a direct path. Difficult material led to higher PME, or perceived mental effort. That, in turn, led to a lower JOL, or judgment of learning, which ultimately made it way less likely that students would choose retrieval practice. It's a total cognitive trap. Okay, so our brain is playing tricks on us. That's the problem. But what's the solution? Well, it turns out the fix is shockingly simple. So those same researchers ran a second experiment. But this time, before the students started learning, they gave one group what they called an instructional intervention. And get this big fancy intervention, it was just telling them 3 simple facts. 1, hey, people usually fall back on restudying when things get hard. 2, but retrieval practice is actually way better for your memory. And 3, and this is the key, that's true for both easy and difficult stuff. That was it. That was the whole thing. So here's the million-dollar question. Can just knowing about this little brain glitch be enough to fix it? Well, the result was an absolute game changer. Did that quick 1-minute explanation actually make a difference? Did students really change how they studied? Oh yeah, a huge difference. Just hearing that simple explanation made students 2.64 times more likely to choose the harder, more effective strategy. I mean, that is a massive change in behavior from just a tiny piece of information. This is the part that just blows my mind. The students didn't get any extra help or more time. All they got was a little peek behind the curtain of their own brain. Just knowing that the feeling of effort was a trick was enough to empower them to push through it and make a much smarter choice. Which brings us to the most important part of all of this, what it means for you. And here is the coolest part. By watching this explainer, you have now effectively received the exact same instructional intervention that those students got. You now know the secret that led to that huge improvement. So here is your key takeaway. This is the mental switch you have to flip. The next time you're studying and you feel that struggle, recognize it. That feeling of effort is not a sign of failure. It's the feeling of your brain literally forging stronger connections. Scientists have a great name for it: desirable difficulty. Your job isn't to run from it, it's to embrace it. So I'll leave you with this question. The next time you're learning something and your brain starts screaming that it's too hard, that you should just go back to rereading, you'll face a choice. What are you going to trust? That temporary feeling of frustration, or the science that proves you're doing exactly what it takes to truly learn?